evening, kids. How are you? So I know when you look at me, you see the way I dress, you hear the way I talk. It's hard not to notice the impact that Whitney Houston has had on my life. It's a bit of a role model for me. One thing Whitney once said in an interview was, "There's nothing more depressing than having everything you want and still not being happy." Now that really put things in perspective for me. Now whenever I feel like I've hit rock bottom, I just say to myself, you know what, dude? At least you don't have everything that you want. We just had Halloween. This is interesting. Hallmark has Halloween cards that you send to people on Halloween. What do you write on a Halloween card? It's like, hey, Jim, just want to let you know we're all thinking about you on Halloween because you are one frightening son of a bitch. P.S. Please stay away from my children. I worked in a day camp over the summer. I didn't enjoy that job all that much. I think probably what I hated the most about it was the kids. Any of you people in the crowd have children? Anybody? Well, here's what I hate about your children. The kids have this game they like to play called the why game. And basically what it is whatever you tell a kid to do, he'll just keep asking you why. So be like, Jimmy, it's time to go to archery. Why? Well, that's what's on the schedule. Why? And that just keeps going forever. So I was trying to think of a way to end the why game, and the only thing I could come up with is you just have to kill the kid. What I found out is that killing the kid doesn't help because then you just get like a new group of people asking you why. My favorite TV show growing up was the G.I. Joe cartoon. Great show. What I loved about that show is it'd be like 25 minutes of people shooting at each other for absolutely no reason. And then at the very end, they would try to teach you some completely unrelated lesson about life. Be like, hey, Jimmy, you should wear a bicycle helmet when you're riding your bicycle. Thanks, Snake Eyes. Now I know. And knowing is half the battle. Yes. And apparently the other half of the battle is senseless violence and destruction. We're involved in some destruction in Iraq. I'm not too crazy about our president for this reason. I don't think he really acknowledges dissent. You know, like he doesn't even admit it exists. There's like hundreds of thousands of people protesting this guy, and it never even comes up in an interview. Like, I think he cares about protesters in the same way that I care about the WNBA. It's like, sure, it's annoying. But why not let them feel like they're making a difference? I'm not all that successful with women. Can't help but feel that part of it is because of my take on the WNBA. I'll admit that. My friends tease me about it a lot. One thing, we'll be going out, and like one friend will say to me, dude, we gotta get you laid tonight. I'm always like, how exactly is that gonna work? Are you gonna take a girl out to dinner, get her drunk, bring her back home, and at like 2 a.m, you're gonna say, at this point, I'd like to introduce my friend, Pete Carboni. He's going to be sitting in for the humping portion of the night. I have a bit of a problem with roaches in my apartment. It's getting pretty disgusting. It's at the point now where they're showing up in my food in the kitchen. The other day I went to get some ice cubes out of my freezer, and I saw that some roaches had actually crawled into one of the ice trays and had gotten frozen into ice cubes, like Han Solo from The Empire Strikes Back. So I didn't have anything to do that night. What I did is I dressed myself up in tinfoil, and I let the roaches thaw out, and I tried to convince them that they'd like woken up in the future. And it was a weird thing. One of them actually spoke to me. He said, "Pete, you need a girlfriend." Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. She doesn't tell us what the misdemeanor was, but if I had to guess, I would say it was stealing food. I'm beginning to suspect that the Count from Sesame Street is unaware of his own aristocratic status. In fact, I think he may have mistaken his title of Count to be a command, that he constantly count things. But if it keeps him humble, maybe it's for the best. I call that joke losing the crowd. Yeah, you know what? I know I lost you and I don't care. How does that feel? I bet it feels bad. Bet it feels awful. I get a lot of junk emails on my email account, and they're all from like pornography sites, but they don't tell you that it's a porn site. They put something in the subject heading to make you think it's somebody you actually know. So they'll say like, "Hey, remember me from that party?" And you open it up and it's just some naked woman. It's like, you got me there, email. Well played. But lately I've been getting some pretty weird subject headings. I got one the other day that said, "Your dad is in danger." Apparently that dude sent it to me. So I open up this email, and it's a link to a website. And it says, "Watch old black men impale young white women." Now, just to give you an idea of how much I care about my dad, I spent about 2 weeks straight combing this website for any sign of how my dad might be in danger. What I've discovered is this: either my dad is an old black man or he's a young white woman. But the only thing he's in danger of is having the time of his life. Internet porn is fun. We can all admit that, right? Ladies? It has gotten pretty kinky, though. You know, like it's at the point now where in order to be kinky on the internet, you have to go completely insane. I was on a website the other night, and they had categories on it for things like torture, kidnapping, rape. It's like I logged onto the internet wanting to masturbate, and I logged off wanting to fight crime. It was like the birth of some kind of superhero. And like my thing would be, before I save you from peril, I would hide behind a bush and masturbate to whatever predicament you'd gotten yourself into. Because justice comes after I do. I've been Pete Carboni. Thank you very much.